What's up, everybody watching it in the future? My name is Strip or Esper, and today I'm going to be playing a Grixis Shadow list in Mythic level Historic. So the last video I posted was kind of like level 1. I just threw some stuff together, ended up doing really well. I don't think I dropped a game, and that got me through gold. And this list and a Jund version, one that I'll be doing a video on in the next couple of days, what carried me to and through Mythic. So I'm kind of going to go over the choices and everything that you see here, and we'll kind of get rocking and rolling into some games. So the first thing is, I don't think Painful Bond has a place in this deck, especially with Ledger Shredder kind of triggering off the second spell you play each turn. A cheap 1-mana cantrip is going to pair better with this than a Painful Bond that doesn't really scale well later in the game. And also, this also lets you keep a little bit more risky keeps with a couple lands and things like that. So I think the adjustment for Consider with Ledger Shredder is also going to be better than the Painful Bond. 4 of our namesake, nothing more need be said here. Fatal Push, this is probably the best way to get rid of Symmetry Sage and company for, as cheap as you can get. This does scale well later in the game. We have 6 discard spells here. I'm choosing Inquisition over Mindspike. That way I can kind of tag a creature and break up a curve for those more aggressive low to the ground decks. Darcy is going to be our first playable threat that you can play on turn 1. This allows us to manipulate the top part of our library and kind of scales as the game goes later, and just kind of allows us to get a little bit of extra bang for our buck for our spells. Ledger Shredder is the best blue 2-drop that you can find in the deck for this. It flies and it kind of scales as the game goes late, and it also triggers off your opponent's turn, and it's a good blocker. It flies and it gets really big really fast. Also allows you to kind of combo with your Dragon Race Chandler to have it hit Delirium pretty quickly as well. Shadowheart Cleric is probably the best card in the deck. Specialize is very aptly named. It allows you to specialize into whatever variant that you need at any given moment. The black one allows you to have lifelink, so if you are playing against a creature deck and your back's against the wall, this will kind of give you a little bit of cushion there. The blue one allows you to draw cards whenever you lose life on your turn, and the red one is just kind of get them DED dead, so whenever you lose life on your turn, they lose life. A really good card. I'm not joking when I say the best card in the deck. Molten Impact is a nice 2-for-1 that allows us to kind of catch back up on tempo against the low to the ground decks. 1 Battle Rage. I think any Shadow variant should have access to at least one of these at all times, unless you're playing a kind of attrition based matchup. Then obviously board it out, but the kind of oops I win wins a lot of games. Your back is against the wall a lot, especially against creature decks and things like that, and this just does 20 out of nowhere whenever you staple it to a shadow. Drowned in the Loch is probably the most overplayed card in a blue-black shell. This card is very bad early game. It scales very well late game, obviously, but it's always going to be a turn behind. So you don't want this in your opening hand, and you don't want this in the early parts of the game. You want to be able to have interacted with your opponent, and then this kind of just sits and counters something or kills something that's imperative for you to win. Very, very bad early game for sure. This is the best card draw in Historic, and we're going to play it till it's not legal anymore. The first Kroxa is better than the 4th Shadowheart Cleric because of the legend rule. We do have 2 Bolt lands. This kills things. This brings things back to life. And we do have 2 Kolaghan commands to kind of fill the hole and kind of do a little bit of everything. We are playing 18 actual lands, 20 if you count the 2 Bolt lands. Our sideboard is going to be 2 Mind Spikes for the spell-based matchups, an Aether Gust for the tempo green and red style matchups, a Disdainful Stroke for anything that goes past 4 to 5 turns, another Molten Impact to bring it against the creature decks, anything blue, another Battle Rage to kind of give you more combo pieces is what I like to call this in Death Shadow's 2-card combo. Pyromancer plays really well here. It helps you grind, helps you kind of have blockers and stuff to throw in against those creature matchups as well. This is probably the most underappreciated card in the deck, is Unlicensed Hearse. This allows you to get a grip on their graveyard, and it's also a threat, and this gets very big very quickly. A lot of the times you will kind of attrition out, and this will just be sitting there plucking cards from their graveyard, and then you land a threat, and then you just smack them for like 10. And then 2 Shatter Storms. Artifact Affinity decks are the best deck in the format. Don't let anyone tell you any different. And this is the best tool you have in the color of red to kind of combat them. And even then, like, you still need the tempo from your early cards to kind of make sure that you have a game plan before, during, and after that card resolves. But if you can kind of balance the tempo, your life total, and what your opponent's doing, I think Shadow is probably the best deck in the format if you are an above average pilot for the deck. Like I said, I've taken some Shadow variant from gold, maybe even silver, all the way through his mythic, and I got pretty high into mythic before I took a day off yesterday. And I haven't really lost a lot. Let's say I've played 30 games, I haven't lost more than 6-7. This deck is very good, but what sets it apart is the person piloting the deck. You do have to juggle your own life total, your opponents. You have to manage the discard, kind of like how you want to poke a hole in their tempo and their game plan, and you have to manage your life total, which is something that a lot of people aren't used to. It's a resource that you can leverage, and it's also the primary game plan of your opponent to kind of break down. So if you can juggle all of those things, I think this is a very good deck choice. Let's see, this is probably going to be a spell-based deck, and we don't have a lot of interaction, but we do have a Kolaghan's Command, and we do have a couple threats, so the game's probably going to go long, so I think this is a justified keep on the play. Kind of having a companion stick out gives them a lot of information, as well as us. They're probably not gonna be playing 2 spells a turn for the time being, and if they are gonna kill something, I'd rather them kill our duplicate. So if they do nothing, next turn is probably gonna be spent bringing Lurrus into hand. Drawing 2 lands for our draw steps is definitely not ideal though. Let's see. So it might be worth it to specialize here. I don't see them killing this at instant speed. So I'm going to look to draw a couple cards. So we're going to pitch our Steam Vents here to kind of get some card draw going. With a Sky Noodle, this definitely seems like a matchup that's going to go a bit long, and the more cards I have access to, the better. So already, picked up a really good card here. I wanted to see if they were going to play something out at instant speed, potentially an Erase Alarm or something, and that was fine trading. I wanted to go to the second main phase just to make sure this had a better chance of surviving. So that drew us a card for sure. I don't really want to play into a Wrath here. So our options are to kind of pick back up the Cleric and make them discard a card, or we can go threat and kind of see what they're going to do next turn. Let's go threat. Actually, if they have the Wrath, they have the Wrath. So we should lead with the Shredder here. Kind of get a trigger off the Shredder too. Sure. We probably don't need 2 Expressive Iterations. So we're gonna go to 9. And then we'll kind of see what they do here. Hopefully the tempo is enough that they don't pop this and find out we have no basics. Battle Rage is looking really good here. So I'm going to continue to look to draw cards here. If they kill this, then it is a 2-for-1 for sure, but I kind of like where our chances are. And I'm going to go ahead and swing in with both here. I will probably use Battle Rage if they don't interact with my creatures on the Shadowheart. Let's see. So they play Faithful Absence here. We can call God's command. Okay. So we're gonna draw a card here. So we hit our 5th land, which is good. I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the kill here. So we're gonna see what they discard or kind of how or if this even resolves. So if this doesn't resolve or they have a way to interact with this, sure. So they're still going to 3 here, and we still have a lot of cards in our hand. And drawing the manland is really good for us. So the Teferi is going to bounce this, which is fun. Alright, so we're going to play our manland. So we're going to have them discard a card and shock the Teferi. I could get behind to consider. I think it allow us to kind of set up for the next couple turns if the game continues to go this long. But this is a lethal threat. They're also going to have to deal with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, but they do have the Filter Ruin for that. But this is going to tax their mana a lot here for the next couple turns. Sure, so this looks to just be super blue-white control. Alright, so we got the first one, which is good. That was a really good showing for Shadowheart Cleric. Like, our hand definitely wasn't great, but being able to draw that many cards put a lot of pressure on them for sure. Now, for this style of matchup, I would like to bring in some extra threats. Keep in mind that they're probably going to have Rest in Peace and things like that too. So it's definitely where the Pyromancer is going to shine. Now, we got to figure out what we want to cut. Kroxa can be very good. It may be worth leaving in, but they probably are going to bring Rest in Pieces in, and we'll kind of see where we're at. No, I know I don't want any pushes. Battle Rage is probably coming out because I know it was kind of cute there, right? And it could have won us the game, but they're going to bring in a lot more removal, and it's going to be very hard for a creature to stick, let alone, our one creature that's probably going to matter for it to connect. So we still have 3 cuts here, and let's see. This doesn't kill anything anyway, so we're gonna cut the Molten Impact and probably an Inquisition. It just don't want to flood out on discard. It's between that and the Kroxa, but I think having access to the Kroxa is going to be beneficial, and they're definitely going to bring in Rest in Peace, but there's not a 100% chance that they draw it, right? This is a very good hand. We have Interaction, Kolaghan Skin Man to kind of continue to make them discard and attack their hand. And they're all in Mulligan, which is really good for us. So they definitely kept on the back of Chalice of the Void. So I'm gonna take the Omen of the Sea. I don't have any 1-drops right now, and I don't really care if they spend their turn playing a Chalice on one. That's actually quite adorable. This would be very good on 2, but we have an answer lined up for it already. Sure. Let's see. It may be worth looking, just to kind of set up our next turn. Yep. So we're just gonna put the Consider in our hand, even though that's not gonna be available to us right now. Our life total's already gonna be below 12. So I'm gonna put the Drowned Catacomb back in our library, just so I don't draw this later. So I'm gonna do this on their turn. I'm gonna have them discard a card and destroy target artifact. That way, if they have a sensor or something like that, it eats their whole turn. Sure. Let's try to find a discard spell for this, right? Let's see. I'll put the Journal Lock in my hand, and we'll just play threat out here. Now, if they have a sweeper, that's fine. We could potentially rebuild with Kroxa in a turn or two. Sure. And we knew the sweeper was a possibility, but we couldn't do anything with it anyway. Let's see. So let's just play the Kroxa and then hold up a little bit of interaction here. Now we have a counter for the Teferi or the Sky Noodle, so kind of whatever they want to do here. Sure. And we will potentially be looking for a land if they don't play anything here. Just so we can kind of hold up our drown and play our threat. Sure. And I'm gonna go ahead and spin the second one. Ledger Shredder. That's probably good post Kroxa, right? I know the drown is perfect. What would I like to keep? Sure. So we kept a couple creatures and a sorcery. We have some instants here, so we didn't lose anything. Now they're probably gonna pitch the Sky Nomad here. Oh. So they're looking to win the game. So this game is pretty much locked up. And it was very much worth keeping the Kroxa in because we considered boarding it out, and we're getting a couple triggers off of it. This should be the end of the game here. We're gonna counter off our Ledger Shredder. Yep, don't want the land. Sure. Best card in the deck at the moment. We'll keep this in hand. It could potentially buy back a couple threats. I'm gonna put this into our hand. Put this into the library. Let's see. I don't think there's anything I want. Yeah, we just have to make sure we don't die to this, right? So we're at 8. Yeah, we're just gonna counter this and end the game. So that was a really good showing of how effective it can be. We just really picked them apart. Like they didn't even have a puncher's chance at winning the game. just being able to attack from a lot of avenues. Like we took their hand apart, we had counter spells, and we had a couple threats, and that's just the recipe for success against almost anything. So we go first, but only one lands. I'm gonna mulligan this on the play. Again with the one land, but we have all of our colors. Let's see. I'm probably gonna pitch this. We have some interaction. And if we hit a second land in a timely fashion, then we get to play ball. So it's a tough decision, right? Because we could go to 5 and potentially have our lands, but do we really win the game if we go to 5? And the correct answer looks to be like we're not quite that lucky yet. Our opponent also kept a one-lander. So I want to get this off the field ASAP. That way they don't get any triggers from the top part of their library. Now I'm going to set up. I'm going to look for our third land here. I know it means I'm not playing a threat, but they have a lot of stuff in their hand that matters. I'm actually going to take 2 lands here, I believe. Yep, I'm gonna shock, because I kind of want to be able to play a shadow out or specialize, and to do that, I need both of these done. So this is most certainly a land here, right? So if he does tap out, let's say if he did tap out, I was going to play my Shadowheart out. But I'm just going to play Double Shredder here. Like, they don't die to the stuff I'm aware of. Well. So this answers the Blade Reforged. Sure. So he gets the land off. Let's see. Our options are it's probably just specialize into lifelink, right? We pitch the Kroxa. And then we have a threat next turn that lines up really well. Now this is a bad attack. We do have some lifelink to work with. I'm going to play this tapped. That way we can kind of do some stuff with Kolaghan's command if we need to. Sure. So I'm going to go to 5. I could very well be dead, right? Like, Static Discharge and a Shock wins the game. Maybe he kept the enchantment on top. Sure.
Oh, I've never crashed a wedding like this before. You're lucky this is a warning shot.
Yep, that does it, unfortunately, with the intensity. That was a very good draw from him. What's up, Christy? How's your evening? Let's see. I want as much removal as I can get, I think. Just go fast, quick fast, and in a hurry here. Yeah, we have 3 pushes. Yeah, that probably feels better. Like, Kolaghan's Command just doesn't do a lot here. I mean, like, it does stuff. It isn't as impactful as you feel like it should be. But, I'll keep this. So we have threat into summon our action. Hopefully we draw, a blue land relatively soon to see what we can find. But if they play a threat here, this is really good for us. Sure. Gonna be super defensive. So we'll get a 17. We'll see if they kill this too. This does a little bit of work for them. What's Coffee Elixir? How's the night? Hope everything is well. Missing a land drop isn't the worst thing here. Like, their cards have to bring our life total down, and we kind of want our life total down. Sure. So if we find a blue land here, we're gonna be sitting pretty for sure. So Inquisition probably isn't the most ideal. I'll play Pyromancer. I want to get this rolling anyway, so I have blockers, and they only have 2 cards in hand. So they can play anything they have drawn. Another Pyromancer or another Darcy is fun. Now, that's probably what they were holding on to. Now, them being able to fly definitely hastens the clock for us a lot here. And now this has drawn dead. Yeah, this definitely didn't pan out the way I saw it, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, we're super dead. It's always important to be critical of why you lost. I lost because I kept a bad hand, but they also, as unlucky as you could frame our luck being, they were just as lucky. You know, they hit runner perfects to kill us game 1, and then they hit 2 things off of the Delirium trigger. They needed to do 5 extra points of damage. But that's how it goes. You can't win them all, right? Really good hand. I have a threat. I have something that does something eventually. So that's really scary. That kills my stuff. No longer kills my stuff. This has killed me a fair amount of times because I didn't know how to read. So we're gonna play our Darcy into consider. We're gonna have a couple scries before we pick what we want to draw for the next turn. And right now we just have to beat, you know, Mono Black Invoke Despair, right? The blocks. Another one of these definitely isn't ideal. Do not want to land. That is for sure. Now, ironically, this kills both of those, but they just get to play this next turn. All right, Ledger Shredder does feel pretty good. I don't have double blue here. Let's see, this happens next turn. So let's set up to look for a Thoughtseize or something to deal with this by next turn. So how we do that most efficiently is I mean, I hate to say it, but it's definitely just the Expressive Iteration here. I don't want another land. Another blue probably is fun. Sure, we'll go to 14. Now this does 6 damage and they draw 3 cards, I think. No blocks. Now the dispute. Don't want a fatal push. Don't want another land. Alright, found the Thoughtseize. It took us a lot of cards to find it, but we found it. Let's see. I think it's just Shredder Thoughtseize, right? No, we are dead regardless. Maybe they'll sack 2 creatures. Sure.
Let us march into battle and make new comrades. A little death never hurt anyone.
All right, so we have the game plan.
Well, this was unpleasant.
And we can deal with the second one. All right, we're in business. That it should not have went the way it did for us. I feel like they misplayed somewhere, but we'll take it. They have exactly 6 mana here. Bring this to hand. Still hold up Drown. For every time I say this card is bad, it definitely just shows up in spades and wins us the game. Like, this card is very good. It's just, it's extremely bad turns 1 through 3. Go away. Let's see. Expressive Iteration, hold Drone Loch. Or Lurrus. Yep, I'm just gonna bring Lurrus into hand. There's nothing I want right now. I mean, what could they have? Right, like I counter this. If they have Invoked Despair, then they have Invoked Despair. I can't really play around them having another one. Sure. Alright, I'm just gonna play Lurrus and then another Ledger Shredder here. Attack for 5. Now this way we also get to play around another Liliana Edict here. We can sack both of our creatures and still keep the Lurrus up. And for them to claw their way back in, we will at the very least get a trigger off of our Shredder. Alright, opponent, what you got for me? While he's taking his sweet time, I'd like to appreciate everyone that has stopped by. If you've missed anything and you would like to check out what you missed, I do have a YouTube channel where this stuff goes, so you can hang out with it and enjoy it in the future. I do post Magic content and also first-person shooter variety content. So if you would like to see anything I've done in the past or just have a place to make sure you never miss out on anything, that would be YouTube. And it's the same username that I have here. Now, he figured it out. Let's see what this does. Create 2 things. Why did that die? Alright, so nothing untapped. Gonna get the Lurrus back. I'd love another Shadow. Alright, the Bontu's threw me for a loop, that's for sure. Sure. Just gonna play a Shadow out. Now, unfortunately, this has to attack, so one of them is gonna get traded off. But next turn we can play a couple cards from our graveyard, so we're still sitting in a really good spot. What's up, Mickey? How are you doing, dude? This, let's see, gets to come back. I didn't lose any life this turn. I was watching the movie, dude. Hope it was good. You need to find a removal spell for Lurrus. That is step number 1. I mean, you could sacrifice this, push this, right? $6.5, huh? That is not what I expected. I unfortunately need to keep the manland. So, it's okay. They have to double block here. I don't want to attack with the Lurrus though, because the lifelink will kind of change the combat math for them. Sure. I do have some interaction if they draw really anything. Cool. So I hope that shows the resilience there. We even got swept, and Lurrus was just able to kind of crawl us back into that game tooth and nail. This looks like mono black control. So they're gonna have a lot of sweepers and things. I do like Hearse here because it is another threat, and it also controls our graveyard a bit, which I imagine they'll be using just a little bit. Stroke seems very good, and all right, I think this is how I want to slice it up. Need to get rid of 4 cards. These just seem interchangeable, to be honest. I don't know if that means they're correct. So I need 2 cuts, 1 cut. You never have Battle Rage in whenever they're going to be killing all your creatures. So it's probably between Hearse and... Let's see. I think it's just Hearse, right? Like, the idea seems cute, but they don't have any real graveyard things that I care about. And 2 mana to not do anything for a couple turns probably isn't that all that great either. This hand's very good. So on the draw, I like to go for Thoughtseize, but since they didn't do anything and I have 2, now I can go Darcy into Thoughtseize next turn. Use my mana really efficiently. Or they play a Chalice on one and I have to wait to do things. Whoa, they get that on my hand too. That is atrocious. Ooh, these are legendary. That's not good. Let's see. I'll let them attack. I still can't believe that happened. That is insane. Like, they could not have lined up any better for our opponent. I can't believe he's attacking here. This is not correct at all. Do I care about this? Yes. Because this is just going to sit in my hand. Right, like, they have to kill a tower to make a lander up, so this is pretty good. I'm just going to Kolaghan's command. Kind of do my thing. And this can counter any spell they throw out anyway. Shock this, discard a card. Now, if I can find a threat that's, you know, not Shadow, because I can't play it right now. I wish it was an ad or something that I could run while my opponent sits there and tries to make his play. What can they do for 3 mana that I really care about? I don't want Lurrus in my hand right now. Sure. Alright. We have done it. The slow burn of 1 damage per turn. If we find a Consider or an Expressive Iteration or another threat, this game is very much done. Especially with the Drowned on the Loch here. I just wanted double blue. Cool. Now we can hold up Drowned on the Loch for anything that really matters. If they want to kill this, that's fine. We have a Molten Impact for any creature they may play. Sure, they have 9 cards in their yard. Like, they're not going to play anything relevant. This will allow us to bring our life total down low enough. Still holding up the Drowned on the Loch. Maybe this card worked like this, right? I spoke a lot of shit about how bad this card was in the early game. And the little Loch Ness monster representative heard me. And she is really sad about what I said. And she's here to prove her worth. So there are a couple different ways I can kind of handle everything. I'm just gonna play it slow, because if they land a Liliana or whatever that other ugly thing, if they land any ridiculously big planeswalker, like, I just lose on the spot. I will specialize this next turn. And once this effectively becomes Cleric of War, it'll be a wrap. Short. Let's see, or it could be blue. We're gonna draw cards. This doesn't have Death Touch, does it? Nope. This is a really wonky deck. Oh, there's the Thoughtseize. Ledger Shredder is very different from Tarmogoyf. In this game, we would be a third of the way of the next game I played if this were a Tarmogoyf. But you know, it is what it is. It still got the job done. I'm not unhappy with it. I think Ledger Shredder makes Grixis playable. But after this game is done, I might play this one and one more, or I might just cut it here and then play the Jund version for 3 to 5 games, and then hopefully hop on some Valorant for the remainder of my evening. So when you are evaluating hands for this deck, you want things to do turns 1 and 2. The more things you can do with 1 mana, the better. There are people that play just blue-black. They are wrong. It's a lot of cards to be reading. I want to push this. Look at me potentially keeping a Drowned in the Loch again. We have a lot of interaction. There's only going to be 1 card in the yard. I think it's worth getting rid of that. Let's see, 2 instants. Sure. Now it's a really good thing that we kept the impact instead of the push. We're gonna get rid of that land. We are drawing a shit ton of creatures here. Sure, I'll auto pay. Now, if I might keep this land. So if I keep the land, I can specialize this the same turn, and I can also play this for 1, which is appealing in the looks like we're going to be killing all of your shit deck. I lied. I want to specialize this into something blue. Hiya. The Sphinx is very good. I like this thing a lot. There's probably a couple decks where this plays well. Lucky. Remember that whole better lucky than good thing? I said I want to specialize into blue. I have the option to specialize into red if I so choose. Yep, I would like to draw a card. So they're dead. the way this can work is if they don't have a way to put their combo piece into the graveyard, I could have Thoughtseize myself, lost life, drew cards, won the game. Hearse, very good here. These cards are very good. Molten Impact for sure. Dispute. Definitely don't want Kroxa. Again, like stopping their combo is how we win. 3 cards to get rid of here. Fatal Push is gonna kind of sort of be hard to turn on. Yeah, I think that's the move because this doesn't kill Greasefang or they're 1/4. I think I like this, right? Yeah, this looks good. I could potentially cut a Shredder for a Pyromancer. Maybe the first Pyromancer is better than the fourth Shredder, but we'll see. A lot of interaction. Thanks to find more things. This is a very good hand to keep. Unfortunately, these should be flipped, and this would be perfect to go 1 into 2, but I'm okay with this as is. Thoughts to consider. I potentially want 1 push, like the push I may or may not have cut out of the board, to be a Baleful Mastery. It just seems right. Let's see. What do I want? I want a land. That is a very expensive land, but that is a land. Almost made a mistake there. Almost let them put a combo piece into the graveyard. Just untap like Greasefang and die. What does this do? It's a lot of reading. Alright, auto topper. Auto tapper. Gonna need you to do things. I don't want another one of you. Hey, look at that. I would have died if I didn't sequence the Fatal Push correctly. I'm super confused. What does this thing do? Alright, kills me. Got it. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. That's a 2-3 for 2. That is insane. Well, I guess I want the push. And I guess I'm just gonna... That is insane. What, dinosaur animation? Dude, something... One, I super appreciate it. I definitely have been very much oblivious. Two, something I'm not set up right. Because I totally missed it. But thank you very much. I sincerely really appreciate it. I just made you a referee, whatever that means. So I have to take little buddy here. I have to use the sorcery speed thing here, right? That's gonna be a bitch to deal with. Cool. Well, you, my friends, are now a referee. Feel free to police things as you see fit. You can punt that son of a bitch as far as you can throw him for all I care. Or if you're cool, you know, you gotta be vetted by my friend here. So your fate's in his hands. I suggest send in cookies. This is probably gonna be a very big turn for me, right? I've already played a land, so my options are do nothing, Expressive Iteration for no real value, or hold up Dispute for something that matters. And then next turn, have a little bit more mana to work with here. Because I need to kill this thing on site. I mean, that's just one. It is what it is. Sure. I mean, he can only specialize as a sorcery, so I think he's just cleaning house right now. That's fun. Now, I have stuff to do. I think I want to set up one more turn here. Don't double Inquisition is the question here. I do. No, I won't. Yeah, I want the land. We lose this game by tapping off of Drowned Loch. Let's see. I get this down. The game. They have a draw step to kill me. But they could kill me in a draw step. But I can't play scared. Like I gotta put something on the board. This will let me draw a couple cards. Yeah, that's gotta go. That card's very good for them. No blocks. Do you play another one of these? That seems really bad for you. Cool. So this definitely got out of hand really quickly. And it won us the game. You know, they were drawing blanks. They brought in a lot of interaction. Maybe not as many ways to go fast. So I think it was the correct play to put the Cleric onto the battlefield and just give them that window to win. If not, then they were really far behind. So if you missed that session, it's going to be up on YouTube probably tomorrow. I'm going to switch gears and record the Jun Shadow list, and then the night will take us there. But yeah, I think the Grixis version, it's a lot of fun. And with Liliana and Dismember coming in the new set, I think it's a lot to reevaluate for both lists that I've played so far, and I'm super excited. But give me 1 second to record the intro and everything, and I'll be back shortly.